is Radio Romania International. You are listening to our 1-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and Africa. We can also be heard on the internet at www.ri.ro, Channel 1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn, Radio Romania International 1, and in Europe via satellite Eutelsat 16A on 11,512 MHz, vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. We wish you good reception conditions.
Hello and welcome to a new broadcast coming to you from Radio Romania International Studios in Bucharest. I am Vlad Palcu in the newsroom. Let's look at the top stories. The Romanian Parliament is marking 20 years since Romania joined NATO. European Council President Charles Michel is paying a visit to Bucharest on Wednesday. And Romanian post workers are today expected to decide whether they continue the strike launched on Monday. The President of Romania, Klaus Iohannis, is hosting a working meeting tomorrow with the European Council President Charles Michel, focused on the future strategic agenda of the European Union. Taking part will be the Prime Ministers of Belgium, Hungary and Croatia, the presidency announced. Consultations held in Bucharest are part of a wider process of defining the priorities of the EU for the 2024-2029 period, kicked off on the sidelines of the informal meeting of the European Council in Granada on October the 6th, 2023. The presidency release also reads: Talks on the future strategic agenda of the EU will continue with a view to adopting a final document at the European Council summit scheduled for late June. The European Parliament is today convening in a joint session to mark 20 years since Romania joined NATO and 75 years since the creation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Romanian MPs will also debate and vote a related resolution. On March 29, 2004, Romania deposited the ratification instrument for its NATO accession to the Department of State of the USA, the depository for the NATO treaty. Then on April 2nd, Romania officially joined the alliance as the Romanian flag was raised at the NATO headquarters in Brussels. In a post on social media, NATO Deputy Secretary General Mircea Joană said Romania enjoys respect and influence at NATO level and makes its voice heard. Employees of the Romanian Post Service are today expected to decide whether they continue the strike action launched yesterday. The company board and the Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitization have proposed a 2-installment pay rise, which in autumn would lead to a total increase of around €75, trade unions say. Romanian post workers have called for an €80 increase in salaries, saying most of them earn minimum wages. Servicemen of the Romanian Army are joining counterparts from the Republic of Moldova and the USA in taking part in the multi-annual exercise Joint Combined Exchange Training 2024, hosted by Moldova. The exercise will occasion joint training drills and experience sharing between the military of the three states and is aimed at boosting interoperability between participants. On March 31st, the currency reserves of the National Bank of Romania went up to €64.2 billion. The gold reserves stood at 103.6 tons. Against the evolutions on international markets, Romania's gold reserves now stand at some €6.9 billion. Public debt payments in foreign currency due in April, direct or guaranteed by the Ministry of Finance, amount to approximately €2 billion. The National Bank also announces that the IRCC, the reference index for consumer loans, fell to 5.90% per year. The downward trend will determine the reduction of mortgage rates for hundreds of thousands of Romanians. The 3-month Robor index, which sets the value of consumer loans with variable interest in lei, also went down. The National Cybersecurity Directorate launched a guide on identifying deepfakes. The document provides detailed information about the creation and identification of deepfakes and teaches users what to do when targeted by such phenomena. Israeli fighter jets are reported to have bombed the Iranian embassy in Syria, killing a high-ranking commander of the Revolutionary Guard, marking an escalation of Israeli attacks on Iranian military installations and Tehran's allies in Syria in the context of Israel's war against the Hamas Palestinian terrorist organization in Gaza, backed by Iran. According to AFP, Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi said the airstrikes attributed to Israel will not remain unanswered. The Iranian official condemned what he described an inhumane, aggressive and spiteful act of invasion, which he labeled a gross violation of international law. Several Arab countries from the Middle East, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia and Lebanon, have condemned the attack. And that was the news coming to you from Radio Romania International.